he met his Jordan. You know, Roman culture says that sons are referred to by the city that they come from. Jewish culture says that they're referred to who their father is. So we think of Jesus, he's Son of God. But he never referred to himself as the Son of God. He always referred to himself as the Son of Man. Why? Because God's a relational God. And if we can't relate with God, then we can't relate with one another. Son of Man. Matthew 8:20 and Matthew 9. Matthew 8:20, and it says, and Jesus said to him, as he's talking to the rich ruler, and he says, foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. And in 9 and 6, and he says, but that you may know that the Son of Man has power on earth to forgive sins. Then he said to the paralytic, arise, take up your bed and go to your house. You think about it, well, how'd you feel if when I say, and some of you sports fans might get what I'm trying to say, but when I say LeBron James is the greatest of all time, then you hear this great debate of, oh, but Michael Jordan has 6 rings. Oh, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did this. Oh, but this and that, Larry Bird and all this and all that, Magic Johnson. I know a lot of these names mean nothing to a lot of you guys, but if you know sports, you hear these names come up. And but that there doesn't have to be a debate. It's just revere, respect the greatness that's happening, and let what happens in this generation, in this era, the quote unquote this era of basketball, LeBron James. But let what is happening in this era, in this generation, let this be a stone for what's to come. It's just a glimpse of what's next. So when Jesus refers to himself as the Son of Man, he could have said, oh yeah, I'm the Son of God. How does that make you, how would that, when you read that, when you think about that, oh, Jesus was the Son of God. That would make me feel inferior every time I think about that. Well, if he's a Son of God, I'll never be what he is. But when he says he's Son of Man, well, he's just like me. I can relate to him. The very things that he went through, I go through. Son of God, God reveals his deity. Son of Man, God reveals his relationship. Revelations 14 and 14. And I just have one more verse. Revelations 14 and 14. All it says is, then I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and on the cloud, same thing. On the cloud sat one like the Son of Man. He's still referred to as the Son of Man in glory. And he's not the Son of God. He's still the Son of Man. In Hebrews 4 and 14, he says, seeing that we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens. Here we go. Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast our confession. For we do not have a high priest who cannot sympathize with our weaknesses, but was in all points tempted as we are, yet without sin. So therefore boldly come to the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in the time of need. So we see that Jesus is referred to as the Son of Man, but in whole, we know that Jesus is the Son of God. Jesus' deity, Jesus being Son of Man. Now, I can call and say, well, if I'm a son, I'm a son of God. So now, we have, angels rest in the heavenly places and they surround us. We're surrounded with a cloud of witnesses.